The question is from Sonali. I got married after 6 years of relationship, and it's been 1.5 years of married life now. Due to contrasting personalities, my husband and I fight a lot. In April we had a really big conflict, and police got involved, and now we are living separately, and both of us are traumatized, and I do not know whether the situation will lead to divorce. I don't want to go to the court. I don't know what to do. I cry myself to sleep every night. He doesn't talk to me. I love him a lot. I want him back. How to deal with this situation? So only you want an answer. And you want an answer within the framework you have narrated to me. That framework involves attraction, conflict, repulsion, reconciliation, breaking up, patching up, breaking up. And spending the life this way, having something amiss in the relationship at all points to keep you engaged. There was a time when your mind was full of romantic thoughts. Now your mind is full of anxious thoughts. In either case, the relationship is keeping your mind quite occupied, and that too with the other person at the center of all thoughts, all preoccupation. That's the framework of the common life in relationships. That's the framework within which so-called lovers operate. That's the framework within which married couples operate. That is also the framework within which divorced individuals operate. Right? That framework includes everything. Coming together, drifting apart, going to the court to solemnize your marriage, going to the court to dissolve your marriage, calling up the parents of the other one to beg for his or her hand, calling up the parents of the other one to threaten them with a clenched fist. What remains common is that you dial the same numbers, albeit for contrasting purposes. Right? Sometimes he is the Prince Charming on the white horse, the handsome knight in the shining armor, and sometimes he is the monster personified who must be accused of misogyny and harassment of all kinds, and must be dragged by the collar to the police station and then to the court. No? One thing does not change. What? Your mind is full of that one person. When he is at home, you want to fight with him. When he is not at home, you worry where he is gone. You also feel apprehensive, he might be seeing someone else. Applies to both genders, more or less. So that's the framework. Pretty comfortable, no? All that we need to do is while away time. That's our biggest problem. Somehow, this problem called life, which is time, has to be tackled. And we do not know the right solution. So we go for these kinds of juvenile ways. If you don't have anything proper to do with life, then just smoke it away. In this, in that. Some kind of addiction we need. And there is hardly an addiction bigger than the body of an individual. I specifically said the body. Because there is actually not much more really to the relationship. Or is there? Alright, we love to wear all kinds of pretenses. Right? But the woman goes after the man goes after the woman. These days sometimes a woman goes after a woman, a man goes after a man. Whatever be the case, it's a body chasing another body, or it's a body missing another body. Getting it? It's a top class addiction. Really fantastic. And you can remain caught in this or that. You can remain stuck in the usual cycle. And the years will keep rolling past you. You will not realize when you move from 15 to 30, from 30 to 50, and from 50 to your deathbed. And what were you doing all this while? You were busy with that person of the opposite gender. Seriously. Is he that worthy? Or is she that worthy? Is that person really so important? What merits do you see in that person? Seriously. I did not read out the whole description you sent me, but here you are saying he is an escapist. Your very words, Sonali, he is an escapist and he shies away from difficult situations. This is the kind of person you are talking of. What great merit do you see in him then? And I am pretty sure if he is asked to describe you, he won't be too kind either. If that's the assessment the two of you have of each other, shouldn't you firstly ask, what's really the need to worry and wonder and think so much about the other? After all, such is your affection towards each other that you really had to bring the police in between. You don't call the police on God, do you? Well, we might as well, we never know, but theoretically at least. You call the police on a robber. You call the police on a rapist. That's your assessment of the other person. The other person might certainly be better than your assessment of him. I don't deny. You will argue, well, the police was called in a moment of heat and there was really no need. And we were just carried away by our emotions and anger. So we dialed 100 and the police came in and we didn't allow it to escalate and it was all cooled down. That's fine. But still, please tell me, is this the best you can do with your life? Is that person really worthy of being a center to your universe? But look at your description. You are saying, I cry myself to sleep every day. Obviously, all the time you are thinking of him. He too must be worried, might be. You say he is traumatized. Why do you need to remain caged in this framework? Why? The worst thing is you are asking for a solution within this framework. Won't help. All the solutions that you are potentially going to try are all within this framework. You say you are in Delhi, the fellow is in Mumbai, you'll probably fly down to Mumbai. And we know the rest of it, no? That oft repeated, banal, filmy story. You go, you knock at his door and one of the 3-4 possible things happen. And we already know in advance what those 3-4 possibilities are. No fifth possibility ever exists. Had it existed, our movies would have already shown it. After all, the possibilities themselves are created by the movies. We are not internally allowed to go beyond the movies, are we? There are so many things that would just not cross our minds, that would just not even occur to us as thoughts, ideas, had the movies not so strongly, so lucratively suggested them to us. Can we for a moment talk of something else? Please. And how do you know that talking of something else is any less engaging than talking of your relationship? How do you know that you as a woman exist just for the sake of relationships? Please. I do not feel very inclined towards answering your query your way, because your way is futile. If I accept your way, I am not helping you. Why are you thinking of this person the entire day? You were once a girl. You would have read mathematics, history, science, geography, languages. Didn't you find inspiring figures there? Didn't those books arouse fantastic ideas in you? What happened to all of that? How is it so that as an adult, mature woman, all you do is think of a man? Please. What happened? Today if I ask you who is Pythagoras or who is Pascal, your face would draw a blank. Today if I ask you what are the most important issues before independent India, you would say, well, I have never given it a thought. Why aren't you thinking about these things, please? Because the movies never taught you to think about these things, and when I say movies, I mean popular culture. Huh? Do you understand why the ocean waves go into that? That's much more exciting and engaging than continuously thinking of an average Joe, a common mediocre man. And when I say that, I don't mean to insult the two of you or either of you. It's a fact of life. The majority of mankind is mediocre. I mean, you take any distribution in nature, 80 to 90% of people lie on either side of the median. Who are they? They are the average folk. Most of us are average folk. Why do you want to keep thinking of an common average person? Nameless, faceless, one in the crowd, one with the crowd. I'm sure when you were younger, you thought of excellence, didn't you? No? You would have had dreams. In your dreams, all that you were thinking of was men and relationships and romantic adventures and male features. Is that so? I don't believe that, Sonali. I'm sure you are much better than that. You would have thought of penetrating the skies. You would have thought of roaming the world. You would have thought of knowing what mankind is, where we come from, what our future is. You would have been concerned with politics. You would have been concerned with international relations, with the great events that mankind has seen, with the challenges that we all face today. No? What happened to all of that? What happened to your love for your favorite author? One day you might have picked up a table tennis bat or a lawn tennis racket. Where is that racket? You used to love chess once upon a time. Where are all the pawns? Or have you just pawned away yourself to a relationship? Tell me, please. It beats me how one person can cling so desperately to another person, and that to someone who's practically gone. No, I'm not being insensitive, I'm not being heartless. I understand what you mean by humanness. I understand human emotions. I know memories. I know the pain and the bite of the moments you have cherished. But I also know that life is enormous and it doesn't wait for one person. It must not. That one must have a worthy goal in life, a beautiful project to be absorbed in. But I see where you're coming from. Most people have none of that. No goal, no project, nothing worth doing. Then what is it that they have? Relationships. Their internal bulletin board has news on just one topic. What's the topic? Relationships. And the more existentially jobless you are, the more you will be a sucker for relationships. He looked at me. I have to prepare breakfast for Chomu. He did not look at me. Where has he gone? What will happen to us? All you care for is your friends. But what about us, Sona? Have you never thought about our future? Please. I'm not mocking you. I'm trying to wake you up. You gave me 3 reasons why you didn't visit him in the other city. It's quite interesting that those reasons didn't include the COVID second wave. It does not exist for you. Nothing outside the limited domain of Babu and Shona exists for you. The world might be falling apart. It doesn't matter. All that matters to me is, these days I am not with my Babu. Where is COVID in all this? Where is climate change in all this? Tell me, please. Huh? And if you are geopolitically inclined, China is making fresh advances in the eastern sector as well as in Ladakh. Are you thinking about it? When you were a girl, with pride you used to sing Jana Gana Mana Adhinaya. Vande Mataram was a war cry for you, was it not? Yes, Sonali? Where is all of that? Nothing, all gone. Doklam does not matter, Galwan does not matter, only Babu and Shona matter. You probably don't even bother to read the newspapers, do you? Because newspapers, they don't carry a picture of my sweetheart. Why do I look at them? Tell me, who are the recent Nobel Prize winners? You won't know because you don't bother. Because all you bother about is the man-woman business. Is that all to life? Are you watching the Tokyo Games, Sonali? They are broadcasting the highlights every night. How is it that you have no time to watch the highlights of the biggest sporting extravaganza and instead you say you cry every night to sleep? Instead of crying, why don't you watch the medal winners? Australia thrashed India 7-1 today, in hockey, men's hockey. Why? Because probably the players were missing their sauna a lot due to COVID restrictions. The players have not been allowed to carry a lot of people and entourage. I might be factually wrong. I just want to make a point, get the point. I'm not mocking our national hockey team. And I wish them good luck in their next match. I suppose they are playing Spain now. Did you bother to inquire what happened to Vikas Krishnan? He was so well prepared. Why did he lose in the first round? No, because it doesn't matter to you. What matters? I WhatsApped my Babu. When will the blue color come? The tick. Why is it remaining so heartlessly grey? So US has pulled out of Afghanistan. What's your opinion on it, Sonali? Please tell me. What do you think are the ramifications for India? Please tell me, Sonali, please. No. I don't think about these things, sir. No, I don't. Now Uzbekistan, Pakistan, Afghanistan and US are forming a quad. You'd probably know of only one quad. Japan, Australia, India, US. There is a second one in making and it's a pretty dangerous one. What do you think of it, Sonali? Please tell me. I don't think of it at all. As a woman, all I'm supposed to think of is, but what is our future, Babu? Our future, the two of us, please. The rest of the world can go to hell. All that matters is me and my Babu. The pain will remain. We are born with this body and this body has an inherent tendency to stick. We do get attached. I'm not asking you to be inhuman or superhuman, Sonali. Please, I do sympathize with you, and because I do, therefore I'm taking the liberty of appearing a bit harsh. I know what you are going through. I have gone through it. But one has to still keep her mind firm. One has to know the relative priorities of various things. No? Yes, it will hurt. It will pinch very badly. I truly empathize with this. But fight it out. And you must know what is important. Life is not a trivial matter. Life is not such a cheap thing that you can blow it away 2 pence. Value your life, take care of yourself, involve yourself in higher pursuits. This man-woman game, every living creature is playing in Prakriti. Don't you know? The cow and the bull. A lot of bull. At the bodily level, every woman is a cow and every man is a bull. Is this what you are born for? Just to keep playing this game endlessly? Go beyond this game. Go beyond your imagined and restrictive inner framework. Relationships are great when they help elevate your consciousness. And that's the only purpose of relationships in life. If relationships are not fulfilling that purpose, then relationships are just a big waste, a great drag. And I repeat, there is no better way, more effective way to waste life than to make a relationship the center of your existence. Since eternity, it is a way tried, tested, proven, supremely successful. Want to waste your life? You don't have to do anything spectacular. Just pick up some random person and make him or her the center of your life. And now, for sure, at least this birth is wasted. I'm not anti-relationship or something. I'm an advocate of great and right relationships. And this is not a right relationship you are describing here. These are not the symptoms. How does one get into a right relationship? Not by searching for the right person. Please. Right relationships would be definitely accidental. Involve yourself in a worthy project. And then the one who helps you accomplish that project is worthy of being related to. Move with all your might towards a great destination. And then if you come across a sincere co-traveler, then that person is worthy of being related to. Remember, you walk towards a great destination. You are not wandering around in search of a person. You getting it? You're not saying, oh, I have a vacancy in my heart and I'm looking for a sweetheart to fill it up. You're not looking for a person. You're sold out to a purpose. And in pursuit of that purpose, accidentally, you come across the right person. And that's how beautiful relationships are born. What purpose do you have in life, Sonali? And if you raise the relationship sans a purpose, you should have already known the relationship is not going to give you any joy. I'm sorry if I hurt you in some way. You will most probably say I did. But try to get the core, the gist of what I want to communicate. Keep the hurt aside for a while. Yes, questions? I would be mighty surprised if some faces here have no questions on this topic. I was not talking to Sonali the person, I was talking to Sonali the concept. And it's a very shared and a very common concept. Several of us are sold out to that concept, so please speak up. Doesn't matter what your color is, maroon or green or whatever. All of you are Sonalis in whichever gender. So speak up.
Acharya ji, this problem of being attached in relationships, people have tried.
Attached or trapped?
Attached. This problem of attachment in relationships. So there are various ways in which this is something which people recognize, and then they try to remedy it in various ways. Some things that are there, especially in the West, people have concepts of like open relationships, where they say that we will stay together at a bodily level, but we will not be attached. At a certain level, it seems to work in some sense. That we have a relationship where at a very bodily level, but we will not be attached at an emotional level. And then I try to remedy it in that way.
See, you cannot have template-based relationships. Relationships are not commercial agreements where you define the boundaries very clearly and also the timelines and such things. A relationship has to be an exercise in greatness. As a great individual, you want to relate in a great way to another great individual. Now, why do you then want to oblige or constrain the other? Are you insecure? Are you afraid? Do you want to exploit the other? Why do you want to give the relationship a form, a name, a legal or religious structure? Why do you want to be certain in advance that the relationship will include bodily pleasure, or that it will not include bodily attachment? If you are coming from a point of greatness, then let the relationship take its due course. If there has to be physical intimacy, it will come. But let it come without you making any compromise on your greatness. Wonderful. You can have kids. Huh? You can even raise an entire family. What's the condition? Don't deviate from your greatness. That should be your first priority. Adhering to that priority, remaining steadfastly committed to that priority, governed by that priority. If you can have physical intimacy, wonderful. Greatness does not preclude anything in particular. All that greatness precludes is smallness, not sex. What is it that greatness is allergic to? Smallness, not sex. In general, in spirituality, sex has been looked down upon because most people make sexual intimacy an exercise in smallness. Therefore, the sages and the scriptures have been so eloquent against sex. Actually, it is not sex they are so much against. It is the smallness that accompanies sex which is the culprit. And 99.9% of the times, when we touch the other, it's an animal touch. It is a touch coming from a small place within us, and it is a touch that seeks to reduce the touched one to a small entity. Therefore, sex is detested and decried. Be great and have a great relationship, and then come what may. What of abstinence and what of intimacy? We don't bother. Nothing is compulsory and nothing is prohibited.